and we take an image. Wow, a major difference. A major difference. It's great to have you guys back on my YouTube channel. Please, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing because I have more informative and great videos coming your way very soon. To what we are going to do today, I have back there in my background a little bit of a setup. We are going to try our hands on product photography. So without wasting much time, let me introduce you to the set and see what we've got going on back there. Basically, I have just a few things. I'm not going to be doing so much here, just to show you that you don't need so many things or the high-end equipment to be able to achieve a wonderful product photography or product photo shoot. I'm going to be using the V850 Mark II from Godox, which is basically a speed light. One interesting thing about this speed light is that you can shoot in HSS, or it gives you the opportunity to shoot beyond your sync speed that your camera is having with any flash or any generic flash that you're shooting with. So that's one thing that you can keep in mind. The second thing is that I'm going to be shooting on this background where our products, which is the Panasonic G7, is going to be on. It's actually made by myself. It's basically a applied board that I painted in black with black acrylic paint, which is going to give us a little bit of glossiness and matte feel at the same time, or matte look at the same time. And the camera that I'll be shooting on is a Canon EOS 6D and with a 50mm 1.8 STM lens, which isn't really ideal for product photography. I'm going to maximize what this lens can do. It's always ideal to shoot with macro lenses like the 100mm 2.8 L series lens from Canon, which is always ideal for product photography because it can get very close. The focusing distance can get as close as you want than how you get with the 50mm STM. But because I don't own it once more, I'm going to be using this and maximize what it can do. You don't necessarily need so much to be able to achieve images that look high-end or that are supposed to be high-end. The little that you have can put it to good use, and once you're able to maximize the little that you have, it puts you higher when you get equipment that are actually ideal for that purpose. So that's what I have for today, and let's get the shoot started. Welcome guys to the set. What I have over here is my subject, which is a camera body, and I have my background, which is black, and I have next to the set a bounce card that's going to also change our pictures or the look of our pictures in a major manner, which I'm going to introduce you to that very soon. But to start off, we have a very basic setup over here. I'm going to take some pictures so I will see how we are with our settings. Okay, so for the flash power that I'll be shooting at, I have the flash power set to 1/4, and my camera settings, I have the shutter speed at 1/400th of a second, an f-stop of 4.5, and an ISO of 100. So these are the settings that I'm going to use to take the first few shots of our subject over here to see how the images are going to come out. Alright, so the first image, let's see how the light will play on it. Alright, so one thing that we notice in this very first image is that we have the focus situated on the front of the lens with everything behind it blown out of focus. Okay, so the first image, what we notice is that we have the focus set to the front of the lens and everything else behind it blown out of focus just a little bit. Alright, one thing that I have to put across is that when you're shooting product photography of this nature, especially with subjects this small, because you're going to have to get close to the product or the subject, you have to shoot at a close down aperture as much as you can. Over here, what I have is f4.5. You can shoot a little bit beyond depending on the power that you'll be outputting from your light source or your flash. So I have mine at f4.5 so that even though I'm going to get close, I can still have a decent amount of distance from where I'll be shooting to wherever around the subject in focus. The main reason is that shooting product photography or shooting stuff that are small like this, shooting at a very opened up aperture is going to give a lot of complications. You're going to have a lot of things out of focus, and you cannot really, bring out the beauty of the subject. So for this matter, I'm going to shoot a little bit beyond 4.0, maybe to 5.6, depending on what I'll be doing. All right, or depending on the flash power that I'll be outputting. So let me take another shot once more and see. Okay, so I think the settings are right, and the focus is still on the lens because that's where I positioned it. And one thing that we realize is that this shot is kind of boring to me, so I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit away so that from where I'm standing I can see a little bit of the side of the lens and the side of the camera some more. So let me take yet another image. Okay. Alright, this looks a little bit more interesting, but the problem that I noticed over here is that you have a lot of dark shadows below where the light wasn't touching. So that's where this comes in, the bounce card. So I'm going to position the bounce card right next to or before the dark areas so that the light that's going to come from here, once it hits the area that's supposed to be exposed to light, whatever comes out, you're going to notice that the light is going to be obscured by anything that is going to be obstructing it. So everywhere that the light wouldn't touch is definitely going to be in shadows. So this bounce card is going to bounce back the light that's going to spill away back into the shadowy areas. So let's try that out. I'm not going to change my settings at all. I'm going to keep it at 1/400 of a second, an f-stop of 4.5, and my ISO remains at 100. So let's take the image and see what we come out with. Okay. So exponentially, what we notice is a little bit of difference. The bounce card is doing a little bit of work for us, but I think the reason why we don't see a major difference is that the bounce card is not bouncing back as much as enough light as we may need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the power of the flash to half of a power and check the image once more. So let's see. Okay, so what we see is that the bounce card is still remaining as it did. The bouncing of the light is not as much as we would need. So we're going to get a little bit closer, and I'll keep the bounce card a little bit tilted this way so that it takes the light some more and bounce it back into those areas, and keep it as close as possible so that it can bounce more light to it. Okay. Alright, so there's a major improvement that we notice over here. The bounce card is doing well because we had it even closer to it. But one thing that is going to give us is that it's going to show in the frame. And so when you're retouching, you can frame it out. Or better still, you can keep it away and increase the power of the flash. Or you can tilt the flash a little bit towards the direction of the bounce card, and you'll get amazing results out of that. Okay, so to make our set even more interesting, to give more touch to the subject, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the lens. So we have two objects for a composition. So if I position the lens right below the image sensor opening and we take an image, wow, a major difference. What we notice is that there's more reflection, there's more highlights bringing out the beauty of the image or the subject. So what we notice again is that the shadows are cast towards where we shot it, or towards the camera. So I'm going to have the bounce card again introduced into the shot, but this time positioned this way where the shadows are cast, and I'll take the shot again so we see how much of a difference this will give. So you notice a huge difference. We have a little bit more exposure in the shadowy areas, which we can further open up when we are editing the image in any image processor or any image processing software that we may use. Okay, so a major difference. One thing that you also notice is that there's a glare that is also bringing out the beauty of the subject. Because the subject is black and the background is also black, there's a little bit more of a merge of the subject into the background. So what the reflections and the white gives us the dimension, brings out the subject out of the background. All right, so let us take a few more pictures having the bounce card behind the subject, and you can change the positioning some more. So let's take an image like again. All right. One thing that we notice is that the image sensor is taking some light, which is even beautifying the product photograph that we have right now. And the main reason is that when you look at the image sensor, when you turn the camera a little bit to the side or above, you tilt it this way, you're going to notice some glare on the image sensor. The same thing applies when you look into the viewfinder of the camera and you lower yourself, you're going to see a lot of reflections and how the glare creates nice reflections on the image sensor, and can use that as a guide to help you, compose your image and get the image sensor also catching a little bit of the light to make it even more pleasing. All right, so let's try that out. So there's a shot with the glare not in there in the image sensor. As you see, it's quite flat and not very interesting. But if I lower myself and find the glare like this, I'm gonna realize a major change, a great improvement, like how we have our image right now. So that's one tip that you can give yourself when you're shooting reflective surfaces. Okay, so let's position the bounce card a little bit this way to reduce the amount of shadows that we have in the shot. All right, so let's bounce back the light and find the glare as well. Okay, so once I have the glare, I'm gonna take the image and see. So beautiful. And that's how you take product photographs of this nature. And one thing that we learned is that reflective surfaces and matte surfaces tend to have different characteristics when light hits them. All right, so that's one thing that you can put under your belt. The second thing to know is that when you have shadows in the shot, you can introduce a bounce card or any reflective surface of this nature. Let's say white or any silver reflective surface can help bounce back light into the shadowy areas of the image. So that's another thing that you can put in mind as well when you're taking product photographs. Thank you very much for staying through the video. If you like what we did over here, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos even more interesting than this, or more videos yet to come. And turn on the post notification button so that you'll be notified of all future videos that I'll be posting on my channel here on YouTube. Until the next video, have a wonderful day. See ya.